I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with Colin Curtis. He is a passionate sci-fi enthusiast who has lived across Europe and works in the construction industry. His latest book, The Ninth Colony, is a riveting exploration of new realms within the genre, drawing parallels that could redefine our understanding of franchises like Star Wars. We're delighted to have Colin join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the folks at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel. Colin, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure. This is a unique world you have created. What gave you the idea for it?
It's a belief that I have that we are a colonist on this planet, which is what the book is all about. Very much into my sci-fi. As you'll see if you read the book. So I actually believe in everything that I've writ there, to be honest with you. So, you know, to me, it's pretty real. So
part of it deals with Darwin's theory of evolution. Explain that to the folks at home.
So Darwin's theory of evolution is a little bit of a misconception. It's the species of origin was that we morphed from another species and became man from monkeys. Mm-hmm. This was all to do with a skull cap that they found, which was later sort of struck out. But I don't believe that that's true. In the thousands of years we've been looking at monkeys, they're still monkeys. They're not humans. I believe that we were placed on this planet as a colony of humans, probably a slave colony to a greater race. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of evidence to prove that through history, through what the Egyptians have done, and through cave paintings that look up, and conspiracy theories by the ton, to be honest with you. And it touches on a lot of this and sort of basically throws that theory to one side, and it gives another theory. I mean, at the end of the day, Darwin's theory is a theory. There's a clue in the name, you know. So, yeah. And my theory is a different theory. So, you know, exactly. Which I think many people believe. So, you know.
Very, very interesting, very unique take there. Now, the story presents a situation where the characters face a choice of entering a spaceship. It's a scenario that speaks to our sense of adventure and fear. Tell us a little bit about this scene you've developed.
So many people, given the choice, if a spaceship came down, would you ignore it? Would you run? Would you investigate? I think many people would investigate because they'd want to know what's on the other side. And many people believe that we are being visited, and if they had the opportunity to explore, they would. So the main character in this book is a huge sci-fi fan, a bit like myself. Mm-hmm. And this is an opportunity that he just couldn't possibly pass up. So he wants to investigate. It turns out that the ship in question is actually abducting people for whatever reason, as you'll find out as the book unfolds. But yes, I believe if a ship landed on the grass today, would I get on it? Absolutely, 100%. There would be no hesitation. So definitely,
you got a good sense of adventure.
You could step on that ship, and they could have something that would cure all illnesses, take 20 years off your life, make you younger, you know, make you fitter. You're going to pass up on that opportunity to find that out, because sci-fi fact is fast becoming sci-fi fiction is becoming sci-fi fact all the time. Right. You know, we start with the Star Trek where they tap the chest to talk to people. Now we're talking to watches on our wrists. We put head things on to look at things virtually, and all this. You know, sci-fi fiction shapes our future in a way and becomes sci-fi fact, driverless vehicles and so on, you know. So yes, absolutely, I would step on the ship, no doubt about it, and I think many people would. So
right. Well, you talked about sci-fi fact and sci-fi fiction. Have you envisioned The Ninth Colony as a movie or a series, perhaps?
Absolutely, 100%. That's where I wanted to go. It is actually in the Frankfurt Book Fair where the book is being pitched for movie and TV deals. There is a screenplay that's being written at the moment by a girl called Daniela Frey, who writes a little bit for Netflix and other TV series. And we've got quite a few producers looking at the project. You have to meet a criteria when you go to movies. I can't just walk up to a producer and say, "Can you turn my book into a movie, please?" because you have to meet this criteria. You have to be represented. You have to tick all the boxes, if you like, cross all the T's, dot all the I's, which is where we are at the moment. So absolutely, I want this to go to movie. And I do believe that it's time for a new Star Wars, new Star Trek. We're rehashing this over and over and over. And now Disney have took over all the project and that. And, how many times do you rehash the same story? This is a new take, a new direction. And I believe it could become huge, obviously, with the right investment. So
I agree.
Lots of scope for spin-offs in this. There's also a comic being made at the moment, which is like a Marvel type comic, which we're not sure if it's going to go to real comic or whether it will go virtual comic, because the thing that seems to be moving in this direction at the moment is all these virtual magazines now, isn't it? Rather than, but we'll see where that goes. But that's being designed as well. So yeah, we're trying to hit it from lots of different angles. So obviously, the more exposure that it can get, then the more chance that you will see it on the big screen. There is a video trailer for this book, which I think is amazing, to be honest with you, which I had made up. Everybody that's seen this is like, when can I see the film? When can I see the movie?
Wonderful.
It has that feel to it. It is absolutely incredible. So
absolutely
go to movie. So yeah.
Well, that's exciting. It's exciting, and I can certainly visualize it as a film or a series for sure, or a series of films, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, the Ninth Colony raises an intriguing question, and you touched upon it before, that humans could have been a colony placed on Earth thousands of years ago. Do you believe that for sure?
I do, 100%. Yeah. And there's lots of evidence. It touches on, I won't go into loads of detail, but it touches on Stonehenge basically being a portal, which there are lots of conspiracy theories about. And if you look at this particular site, there is a lot of evidence to that, where there are pits that are dug in I think they call them the mulberries, in a 10-mile radius, which could be seen from space. There's ley lines that look like landing strips coming down. There was a group of communal buildings, say 300 or whatever, that were made of wood and now gone into ground, obviously. But there's evidence of all these things which could indicate a landing site of some sort where colonists were put. I mean, there are so many theories. Obviously, there was theories of giants on Earth originally, and the humans overthrew them and then took the Earth for themselves. So they were supposed to have been guardians and so on. But you could look into so many different theories. But I do believe that we were a colony and we were placed here. And the book is all about 9 different colonies of humans that are spread throughout the galaxy. And the best and worst of humanity, as always, is humans. Unfortunately, the most destructive force in the galaxy. Always, and probably always will be. So
absolutely. Have you started working on a sequel to the Ninth Colony
yet? Yes. Probably a couple of chapters through the next one. Got some interesting twists and turns. It ties up a little bit at the end, because I've left quite a lot of it open-ended, so that it can run into a sequel. And it deals, well, I won't tell you what it deals with. It deals with a lot of ethics and things. Because you need to read this book first, but before I go into telling you what's coming next. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas for it to go to. So wonderful. I find that very easy because I'm a huge sci-fi fan, to be honest with you. So, but absolutely. I do believe it's time for something new on the market. I think, as I said, I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong. I love Star Trek and all these movies, but obviously the big movie at the moment is Guardians of the Galaxy and all the Avengers type films. But we need a new sci-fi franchise. And I think this could be it, personally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also feel like it has kind of a more realistic feel to it than Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's more like a Planet of the Apes kind of feel to it a little bit, where it's got some really nicely thought out, philosophy behind the sci-fi.
I tried to touch on certain issues that that humans deal with, from abduction to human trafficking and stuff like this. So yeah, it is very real, and there's a lot of references to human life, if you like, from little film references that the people that are abducted may have seen, that they bring into later. So try to keep it real, to be honest with you. So absolutely, I think sci-fi should be believable, because people believe in sci-fi at the end of the day. And when you make a bit of a mockery of it, when like Spaceballs and things like that, it's real sci-fi fans, that's a bit of an insult, So and yeah, humor is part of life, so we've got to have humor in everything, but you've got to be real and you've got to believe at the end of the day. And and I think you'll find that the sci-fi community really does believe. So I
Absolutely.
know there's a lot of fruitcakes out there and stuff like that, but in general, we do believe in these things, and there's a lot of evidence at the end of the day. So
Yep, absolutely. Well, this book will have folks at home believing. The name of the book is Ninth Colony. It
yes.
is written by Colin Curtis. It's a sensational read. You can find out more on his website as well. It is colincurtis15.com. Colin, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.